In this lecture, we are going to be talking about stress a bit more in detail. The purpose is for you to understand stress properly and understand what makes you stressed. The stressful response is your body's way of dealing and coping with tough, demanding, or uncomfortable different situations that you are feeling. We can experience this hormonal fluctuation, respiratory irregularity systems, cardiovascular instability, and nervous system alterations, which will all affect us and stimulate this stress. It derives from our evolutionary fight or flight reactivity system. When we meet a tough, demanding, or uncomfortable situation, our body would then release huge amounts, or whatever average amounts or low amounts of cortisol, depending on the severity of the situation, which will cause this stress to develop. And there's, of course, different types of stress. There's good stress that we talked about when we were talking about the anxiety system. Good stress is the kind of stress that would push you to perform better. When you feel stressed about a basketball game, this stress can be helpful, but it will push you to practice more. Bad stress is something that can affect you in a negative way, where it can block your productivity and block this kind of cognitive clarity and performance. Physical stress is some things that you experience on a physical level. Stressful factors can cause a lot of physical discomfort. And psychological stress is also something else to be aware of. This is you feeling that your brain is foggy, feeling that there's a lot of thoughts racing through your brain, and it is all related to stress. And the purpose of this lecture is for you to basically understand the basis of stress if you're not familiar with it. And if you don't really understand the difference between stress and anxiety, stress is usually a response to a threat in a situation. As we said, this is the fight or flight reaction. However, an anxiety is this reaction to the stress. When there's something that's stressful and it's lingering and it's consistent, then we start developing an anxiety towards it. When you're not really good at math and then you fail an exam after an exam, you start feeling stressed every time you have to study for math or every time you have an exam. Over time, you will develop an anxiety whenever the topic of mathematics is mentioned, whenever you have to study math, and whenever you have to go through the exam. When we experience stress, we might feel muscle tension, we might feel overwhelmed, poor concentration, forgetfulness, excessive worry, gastrointestinal problems, irritability, and a lot of different things. And anxiety is a bit more severe. It is excessive worry and excessive stress. In the long run, it will cause a lot of fatigue, restlessness, irritability, sleep disturbance, and insomnia. But again, it lingers on a more of a long-term basis.